As the old adage goes, April empties bring May 1st empties video. Welcome to my April empties video. Starting off with books, okay, I'm going to break the conventions a little and start with a book that I did actually read in, let's see, March, the month before April, famously. And I just forgot to include this because I wasn't really thinking of it as a book, but it totally is a book. I mean, look at all those pages. This is called How to Draw a Graphic Novel. I got it for Christmas, I think 2 years ago because I was interested in drawing a graphic novel. And it was very informative about drawing a graphic novel. And a quick read. So would recommend if you're interested in drawing a graphic novel. Okay, first official book of this month, April, is NPR's podcast Startup Guide, yet another how-to book I received for Christmas. I clearly have a lot of creative ambitions. Here's what I would say. Good, very informative, very specific about things like tech and editing and scheduling things, and, you know, very detailed about that. It's by NPR, so it's kind of very specific to like a nonfiction narrative podcast form. They touch on other stuff, but that's what it is. Or even like a written out narrative podcast, but it's not really talking about like a talk podcast. Like it's very high production. You know what I mean? So just be warned. Also breaking form here, not really a book, but I'm putting it in with the books. I read it in between books. This is New York Times Magazine. I think they released this at the beginning of 2025, and it's outlining the kind of bios of people that passed away in 2024. So that was interesting. There was some interesting stuff about the creator of Backyardigans. Sad that she died. Happy that she created Backyardigans. Let's smile because it happened. And about Amos from Famous Amos. I was learning a lot. I mean, there were like people in here that I had really heard of before, but also like that wasn't what I was really doing the most learning on because I already knew about them. And also, I forget her name, which is kind of bad, but Francis Ford Coppola's wife, he sounds like kind of a brown husband, but whatever. And she had an incredible story. Next, a library book. I like to use my local library. This is the sequel to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You'll remember I read that kind of recently. It's called The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. These are very quick reads. They're very funny. I just am like eating them up. And he's got other series and stuff, so I think I'm gonna get really into this guy. But there's like, I think 4 or 5 books in this series. They follow very similar conventions. They both just end like in the middle of the story. So really it's kind of like one long book that he broke up into 5. And yeah, very fun. It's all just kind of like stuff's happening. This one, I would say there were some chunks where I was like, okay, I think there should be a little bit more plot connectivity here. It feels too random, but then they really kind of got back to a place where I was like, this is gonna be a long video, by the way, because I was unemployed this month and I consumed a lot of media. Final book of this month is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I got this for Christmas this year. I asked for it. And it's his first nonfiction work. It's a series of essays, reviewing various elements of the Anthropocene, such as, just off the top of my head, the Hall of Presidents, the Scratch and Sniff stickers, Diet Dr. Pepper, etc. It was really good. I liked it a lot. John Green is a really big part of my childhood, so I honestly just feel a strong connection to him, and fight me. But my one criticism is that some of the things he's reviewing, in my opinion, are not part of the Anthropocene. If you're counting that as like, it exists now during an era, which I'm calling the Anthropocene, sure, but like some of the things he reviewed are like sunsets and Halley's Comet. I'm like, those are forever. Those are outside of the Anthropocene, in my opinion. So, you know, if you're looking for a pedantic review of a book, come to me. Loved this. Okay, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street a while ago. I was like, whatever. I wasn't gonna watch any of the other ones. This is the sequel to Nightmare on Elm Street. But I heard that they get really, like, they jump the shark, they get really crazy and fun, and so I was like, okay, I'll stick around. And you know me, I will spend a lot of my time kind of doing something for, like, the possible payoff at the end, maybe. Anyways, but so I watched this immediately. Great. I don't know. It just like, there were some crazy moments in it. This is in the first one, but like the way he dresses is nuts. Like to have a bad guy that it's like his thing is like fedora striped shirt. And there's like a part where his like tongue is really long, comes out and like licks the guy. And I don't know, it's just like there were some really surprising moments, which I love. Next movie was Trolls Band Together, and you guessed it, Henry and I played a drinking game with this one. I brought the paper so I can be specific about what the game was. Okay, it was drink every time their hug time happens, which I'm not sure actually ever happened, but maybe it did. Every time they introduce a new troll, which kept us going. Whenever there's kind of like a joke where it's like dramatic irony, where it's like not funny to the trolls, but since we live in like our world, it's like a reference to our world that's like funny to us because of the reference, but isn't on its own funny if you're in the world of the trolls. And anytime you recognize a celebrity voice. And then it was shot anytime, we were thinking maybe in sort of a cartoon style, someone does big puppy dog eyes to get what they want. Or if someone changes their hairstyle. And then those were the drinking ones, but then we also said if Jeff Bezos is in the movie, then Henry had to give me $1 million. Shoddy camera work, really hard to watch. So some of you may know I've seen seasons 1 through 4 of Gossip Girl. I'm waiting on seasons 5 and 6 until Mike releases his recap videos of those so I can watch the season, then watch the recap right after and understand all the references. So this was the season 4 recap. So next recap, I get to watch Gossip Girl. This was really fun. I just wish these came out more often, but I understand because I'm also a highly kind of awaited YouTuber and it's hard. It's so hard to make videos and edit them, and it just takes time. So next movie is Rope. This is a Hitchcock movie. It's based on a play, which you can tell because they're in the same room the whole time. And my take on this is that I think that this is in large part the teacher's fault, and he's like really a hypocrite. So I was feeling very critical of him. It's like, okay, you're not a murderer, but you kind of created one. So watched this in the theater, participating in the great tradition, and I loved this, but I was the person in my party who liked it the most, I would say. The other people kind of felt like maybe it fell flat, but I don't know, it was like, I like horror, it was like a fun villain, it was very genre fiction-y, which I liked a lot, and there's like, I don't know, there's like funny elements, but one of the criticisms that my party was making is that it's like, makes a lot of funny choices, but then it doesn't have a funny tone at all. So it's like, what am I supposed to think? And also like it was like horror, but it was like really kind of sad. So if that's not what you want, don't. For TV shows, first thing I had to watch was Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life because I had just finished Gilmore Girls. And I liked it a lot. This takes place 10 years after the show ends, and it was filmed 10 years after the show ends, and the way everybody aged is like vastly different from person to person. It was genuinely like, if you asked me to be like, how far apart were these filmed based on how people were aged, I would be like, maybe like it's like it was in the future and they did some crazy sort of science stuff. I really liked a lot of what they did, and Rory always has these frustrating plot lines, but whatevs. I made a lot of predictions about this, which you kind of have to do to enjoy White Lotus, I would say. That's the fun in it. Should have done a bingo card. Maybe I will next time. I predicted this is spoilers, sorry. I predicted the incest. I just got a vibe right away. But I was guessing the wrong 2 siblings. So something about those siblings in general are just giving that kind of vibe. And then I also thought, though, that it was going to be that the monkeys took a gun and that the shooting was from monkeys. I wish they would have done that, right? I started this so long ago, and then I like kind of got caught up with more time-sensitive TV watching assignments from me to me. So I just finished it now. It was so good. And I thought it was gonna be like corny and kind of a snooze. I don't know why, because I love corny, like I should have been expecting to love it, but it was really funny too, is the thing. Like sometimes corny stuff like doesn't try to do jokes so much. So I really like that balance. It's great. Would recommend. And also they're making more of it, which surprises me, but yeah, I look forward to it. This is always really good. I liked it a lot. Love all the characters, heartwarming. this season revolved a lot around sex, and a lot of teen dramas, when they have sex in them, it's like, well, you're basically watching two adults have sex, you know what I mean? And the actors in the show are adults, but something about the way that it's written or framed, I was like, should I be watching this right now? Like, I feel like these are like kids. These are kids. So that was my attitude about it. It was like a little too horny for me, because I'm like, I feel like a lot of, anyway, adults are watching this, but I should be more upset about Arya and Ezra, so leave it alone. I'm so serious. I watched so much TV this month. I'm like halfway through with TV shows right now. Okay. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14. Big highlights of this season, so you don't have to watch it if you haven't. Two really messy kind of separation divorces going on. I want Kyle and Mauricio to work out, but it just seems like they won't, and that's too bad. And I know that's how Kyle feels too, sorry. But, and then that, and then Bose is new. She seems fine. I don't know, I'm like, I feel like I want more from her, but that'll come. I'm sure that'll come. Oh my god, Sutton's friend Jennifer Tilly. Oh, I love her. She has a doll that she like custom makes designer clothes for her doll. That's what I would do if I were rich, obviously, other than try to not be rich. Yeah, oh my god, she was in Bride of Chucky. She's just all around really scary and off-putting, and she's really funny, and I just love her, oh my god. So I hope she sticks around, but I kind of don't want them to make her a housewife, because I feel like that will ruin her. This is another one. So a lot of these, you're like, you watched this whole show this month? A lot of these are like, I watched one season, okay? This show I watched all but one season of a while ago with Dagan, okay? And then that ending of the second to last season was so tedious. Truly, the bad guy's name is Sensui. There's an episode called Sensui's Fall, and then 17 episodes later, there's an episode called Sensui's End. It takes that long. Okay, so then we didn't watch the last season because Dagan was like, I'm not putting myself through that again. But I can't ever not finish something, so I watched the last season now. It was pretty good. I thought it was fun. I honestly thought it was really fun. I think it set some stuff up at the beginning it didn't follow through on, but you know, that's anime sometimes. They don't have a lot of time to plan. But it didn't have, Kuwabara is like the best character, and it didn't have Kuwabara in it almost at all, which sucks. But otherwise, thumbs up. This one I did watch all of with Dagan and a lot of with Henry. Wow. It's so good. It's an anime, and it is an anime, but if you don't like anime, you still might like this one, because it really doesn't follow a lot of the genre conventions of anime. It takes place in fantasy Germany. so good, and so like interesting thoughts about sort of participating in a harmful system, and you know, but is it for the right reasons, and government is just pretty corrupt, and God is cruel in this show. So yeah. Then lastly for shows, this is Dimension 20 Titan Takedown. This was a 4-episode season. It was like a pro wrestling in ancient Greece, and the players were actual pro wrestlers, which was fun. They were really fun. Like, they're great, you know, audience members, so they were like really fun in the dome. I never get that attached to like these really short seasons, and like it's people I don't really know and that kind of thing, but given those conditions, I thought it was a really fun watch. I'm gonna really try and rapid fire these scoops because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. Okay, ready? Sorry. Oh my god. So this is actually from last month also. So yes, last video, I said that, I think I said I broke the record for Goops again this year, but I was actually even off by 1. So I think I said I had done 6, but it's actually 7, or maybe I said 7, but it's 8. So anyway, this is from last month. It's a 2-in-1 travel size. Just finished that up. Starting this month's Goops, I did this little lotion. This was from a hotel. You must at this point be thinking, Sienna lives in hotels, but I just went to a couple and I took everything they had. Okay. Finished a whole dish soap. Obviously didn't do this alone. In this house, we rotate who washes the dishes, but finished that up. Another lotion, because they were kind of small. This one smelled crazy. It might have been expired, but it was like lemon scent, but also there was just a touch of like a formaldehyde vibe, and it was very runny. Okay, but I didn't break out. I'm always like, I'll stop using it if I break out. Didn't break out. Speaking of breaking out, finished this face wash, and it was fine. I sometimes like when they have like a gritty, like exfoliating thing, which this didn't, but that's fine because I have an exfoliator, so. Okay, and I'm going to do it all in one shot. I also have kind of an other section. I don't always do food, mostly because I'm not just really keeping track of that, and I don't want to like keep the empty all. It's like, what do I count or whatever? But this month we finished 3 hot sauces, so I am going to include that. Sriracha. Henry helped with this as well. Henry was living with us. Don't tell me. The sriracha. Frank's, which is my favorite. It's like my go-to, but I will say the more I use it, it's a very like, it's vinegar, it's spicy, it's not that complex of a flavor, so I do like to branch out occasionally. I like the sriracha for variety, and then this I actually won in a game at National Mustard Day last summer. This is called Chicken Dip and Sauce. It's by Tiger Tail, and this was a really good, I like to eat vegetarian chicken nuggets like crazy, so this was really good with those. And then also for food, and again, this is evidence of Henry being here, 2, I think it's 6 packs of beer. This one, I broke them down, but this is called Garage Beer. This was fine. It was a really light beer. It was like kind of watery, but I don't mind that stuff. Ooh, sorry, I'm cut off. And then this 3 Sheeps ale, which was also good, yeastier, I would say. And my very last empty of this month is a super exciting announcement / teaser. It falls under the category of crafts. So you might have noticed earlier before I said that I read a book about how to write a graphic novel, and that's because I'm working on a graphic novel. So I finished the storyboard this month, which was very harder than I thought it was going to be. I actually thought I was going to finish it last month, in the last like 2 days of the month, and then it ended up taking me like a whole month. You may know that I wrote a web series in high school with my friend, and then we filmed the first episode in college, and that's on YouTube. You can watch it, Baby Burrow MA. That's what you should search. But we weren't able to film the whole web series, which made me kind of bummed out and sad. So eventually I decided that I was going to turn the series into a graphic novel. So I'm right now just working on the first episode, which is obviously I've already told that part of the story, but had to start at the beginning. And I'm just going to show you the first page of the storyboard, and then you can stick around, and I'll, when I finish it, I'll post it online and you can read it. But this is the first page of the storyboard. It's vertical, and let me get up close and I'll kind of scan, okay? Chirp, chirp, tweet, tweet. Yes, there's stains on it, but that's gonna be fine. Bzz, bzz. House. Okay. Sleeping. There's a yard sale in Arlington. And he's tired, and then he says, let's go. All right. So that's what you get to see, and then I'm gonna make it digital, and I'm gonna post it online. Thank you for watching my Empties video. Thank you for sticking around for the whole one. If you did, this time it was a long one. And, you know, subscribe, and there will be more next month, obviously, because I keep emptying stuff, as I am a person on this earth.